Hello, and welcome back to TourPedia Uncovered. Today we journey to the heart of the Aegean Sea, to an island sculpted by fire and sea, a place of almost mythical beauty. We are, of course, exploring one of the most breathtaking islands on Earth, Santorini, Greece. This is a land where every view seems composed by an artist, a masterpiece of nature and human endeavor. Its sheer cliffs, a stark white against the deep blue of the caldera, are crowned with villages that cling precariously to their edges, a testament to the resilience of life in this dramatic landscape. With its iconic blue-domed churches, whitewashed cliffs that plunge into the turquoise waters, sunsets that set the sky ablaze, and ancient secrets buried for millennia under volcanic ash, Santorini is a destination where history, beauty, and myth collide. Here, the whispers of a lost civilization can still be heard on the wind, carried across vineyards that grow in the island's unique, fertile soil. It is a place that captivates the senses and stirs the soul, drawing millions of visitors each year to witness its splendor. But Santorini is more than just a picturesque postcard. It is a living, breathing ecosystem with a story that stretches back thousands of years, a story of geological upheaval, human survival, and cultural richness. Join me as we peel back the layers of this remarkable island. Let's uncover everything you need to know about Santorini Island, step by step, and discover the secrets that lie beneath its stunning facade. Our journey begins by locating this remarkable place on the world map. Santorini, known officially as Thera, is a small, circular archipelago of volcanic islands. It resides in the southern Aegean Sea, about 200 kilometers, or 120 miles, southeast of the Greek mainland. It is the southernmost member of a group of islands known as the Cyclades, a name derived from the Greek word kyklos, meaning circle, as they appear to circle the sacred island of Delos. But Santorini's own circular shape tells a much more violent and dramatic story, one written in fire and stone. What we see today is, in fact, the remains of an enormous volcanic explosion. The island group is a water-filled caldera, a vast cauldron-like hollow formed shortly after the emptying of a magma chamber in a cataclysmic eruption. The main island of Thera arches around the caldera, a crescent of land that forms the eastern rim. Opposite it lie the smaller islands of Therasia and the uninhabited Aspernici, completing the circle. At the very center, new land has emerged from the depths, the volcanic islands of Nea Kameni and Palea Kameni, a stark, blackened reminder of the powerful forces still simmering just below the surface. This volcanic heritage is the very essence of Santorini. It dictates the island's topography, from the sheer, multicolored cliffs of the caldera, which soar up to 400 meters high, to the gentle, fertile plains on the eastern side. The very ground beneath our feet is a tapestry of pumice, ash, and solidified lava. Understanding this geology is the key to understanding everything else about Santorini. Its unique agriculture, its distinctive architecture, and the very reason for its existence as one of the most visually stunning landscapes on our planet. To truly know Santorini is to journey back through millennia, to a time when the island was known as Strongili, the Round One. Around 1600 BC, this single island was home to a flourishing and highly advanced Minoan settlement at Akrotiri. But this Bronze Age metropolis was destined for a dramatic end. The volcano at the island's heart erupted with unimaginable force, an event now known as the Minoan eruption. It was one of the largest volcanic events in recorded human history, burying Akrotiri in a thick layer of ash, preserving it perfectly, much like Pompeii, but for an additional 1,500 years. This cataclysm is believed by many to be the inspiration for Plato's legend of Atlantis. In the centuries that followed the Great Emptiness, life slowly returned. Dorian colonists arrived, naming the island Thera after their leader. It passed through the hands of various powers during the Hellenistic, Roman, and Byzantine periods, a strategic but often overlooked outpost in the Aegean. During the Byzantine era, Christianity took firm root, and the construction of numerous churches began, a tradition that would come to define the island's visual identity. The name Santorini itself is a later addition, a legacy of the Venetian Crusaders who, in the 13th century, named it after Saint Irene, Santa Irene. The island then fell under Ottoman rule for several centuries, before finally uniting with the modern Greek state in the 19th century. For much of this time, it was a quiet place, its people living off the sea and the land. The island's modern story, its transformation into a global icon, only truly began in the mid-20th century. A devastating earthquake in 1956 prompted a major rebuilding effort. It was this reconstruction, combined with the growing allure of its dramatic vistas and archaeological wonders, that placed Santorini firmly on the world's travel map, creating the celebrated destination we know today. The soul of Santorini is deeply entwined with the traditions of the Greek Orthodox Church. This is a land where faith is visible at every turn. It is said there are more churches and chapels than houses on the island. their brilliant white walls and vibrant blue domes standing as beacons of devotion against the sky and sea. These are not mere monuments. They are the very heart of community life. From small, private family chapels built to honor a saint, to the grand metropolitan cathedrals in the main towns, each one plays a role in the rhythm of daily existence, hosting services, weddings, baptisms, and the all-important panegyria. These panegyria, or festival days celebrating a patron saint, are the lifeblood of Santorinian culture. On these days, entire villages come together. The air fills with the sounds of traditional island music, the scent of incense from the church, and the aroma of food being prepared for the communal feast that follows. It is a time for celebration, for dance, and for reinforcing the bonds of community. One of the most spectacular is the Efestia, or Volcano Festival, held in August, where a stunning display of fireworks reenacts the great Minoan eruption, a powerful tribute to the force that shaped their world. Beyond the festivals, the culture is one of quiet resilience and a deep connection to the land. Daily life, particularly outside the main tourist hubs, still follows a calmer pace. You will see fishermen mending their nets in the small harbors and farmers tending to their unique crops. And of course, there is the architecture. The famous iposkafa, or cave houses, are a brilliant adaptation to the environment. Dug horizontally into the soft volcanic cliffs, they provided protection from harsh winds, the summer heat, and even earthquakes, remaining cool in summer and warm in winter, a perfect example of human ingenuity working in harmony with nature. While the whitewashed villages are what first capture the imagination, it is the raw, powerful landscape that forms their foundation. The defining feature is, of course, the caldera. Its cliffs are a geological marvel, a cross-section of history written in layers of black, red, and gray volcanic rock. Standing on the edge, one feels a profound sense of scale and power, gazing down into the deep blue water that now fills the volcano's crater. This dramatic drop-off is not just a spectacle, it dictates where and how people can live, forcing settlements to cling to the very rim of the abyss. At the center of this submerged crater, the volcano is not dead. It is merely sleeping. The islands of Nea Kameni and Palea Kameni are the active heart of the volcanic complex. A boat trip here is a journey to another world. The ground is black and barren, steaming with sulfurous vents and hot springs. To walk upon this newly formed earth is to witness geology in action, a potent reminder that the forces that created Santorini are very much alive. The surrounding waters, warmed and colored by minerals seeping from the volcano, offer a unique therapeutic swimming experience. And then there are the beaches, each one a direct consequence of the island's volcanic past. There is no typical white sand here. Instead, you find shores of extraordinary color. The famous Red Beach is backed by towering cliffs of iron-rich rock, its sand a deep rusty hue. Nearby, Parissa and Perivolos offer vast stretches of fine black volcanic sand that sizzles under the Mediterranean sun. And there is Vlykata, with its pale pumice stone cliffs carved by the wind into fantastical, lunar-like shapes. Each beach tells a different chapter of the island's violent and beautiful geological story. What is it about this small Aegean island that draws an estimated 2 million visitors each year? The answer is manifold, but it often begins with a single word: romance. Santorini has cultivated an image as one of the world's premier destinations for couples, honeymooners, and weddings. The combination of breathtaking views, luxurious cliffside hotels with private infinity pools, and intimate candlelit dinners overlooking the caldera creates an atmosphere of unparalleled romantic allure. It is a place seemingly designed for creating lifelong memories. But the island is far from a one-dimensional romantic retreat. For the adventurous, Santorini offers a wealth of experiences. There are hiking trails that trace the rim of the caldera, most famously the path from Fira to Oia, offering ever-changing, spectacular views with every step. There are opportunities for scuba diving to explore the submerged caldera walls, sea kayaking to discover hidden coves, and sailing trips to the volcano and hot springs. The island's dramatic topography provides a natural playground for those seeking more than just a place to relax. And then, there is the sunset. The sunset in Santorini is not just a daily event, it is a celebrated ritual. In the village of Oia, crowds gather hours in advance, finding their vantage point along the narrow pathways or at the ruins of the Byzantine castle. As the sun begins its descent, a hush falls over the crowd. The sky transforms into a canvas of fiery orange, soft pink, and deep purple, reflecting off the white walls of the village and the surface of the sea. When the last sliver of the sun disappears below the horizon, the silence is often broken by spontaneous applause, a shared moment of awe at one of nature's greatest performances. The unique volcanic soil of Santorini, known as Aspa, is poor in organic matter but rich in minerals. This, combined with the arid climate and strong sea winds, forces plants to struggle for survival. The result is produce with an incredibly concentrated and intense flavor. The most famous of these is the Santorini cherry tomato, a tiny, sweet, and thick-skinned fruit that bursts with the essence of summer. It is the star of many local dishes, from salads to the delicious tomato keftedes, or tomato fritters, a staple of every Santorinian taverna. Other agricultural treasures thrive in this challenging environment. The fava of Santorini, a type of yellow split pea, is considered the finest in Greece, yielding a wonderfully creamy and sweet puree. The white eggplant is another local specialty, prized for its delicate, non-bitter flavor, often served fried or baked with cheese. And one cannot forget the capers, which grow wild among the rocks, their pungent buds adding a burst of flavor to salads and sauces. These ingredients form the foundation of a cuisine that is simple, honest, and utterly delicious. Yet, perhaps the most celebrated product of Santorini's volcanic soil is its wine. The island is home to ancient indigenous grape varieties, most notably Assyrtiko. To protect the grapes from the harsh, sandblasting winds, local vintners use a unique cultivation technique called coulura. The vines are woven into a low, basket-like shape that rests on the ground, sheltering the grapes within. This method produces wines of extraordinary character, crisp, dry white wines with a distinct minerality and high acidity, a perfect reflection of the land from which they come. A visit to a local winery for a tasting is an essential Santorinian experience. While the towering cruise ships and bustling hotels might suggest otherwise, the economy of Santorini does not rely solely on tourism. Long before the island became a global hotspot, its lifeblood was agriculture and wine production, and these sectors remain vitally important today. The island's wine, particularly the Assyrtiko variety, has gained international acclaim. Wineries are not just tourist attractions, they are significant businesses that export their products around the world, carrying the name and taste of Santorini to a global market. This provides stable, year-round employment and is a source of great local pride. The unique agricultural products, the fava, the tomatoes, the white eggplants, are also cornerstones of the local economy. While some are grown on a small scale for family use or local tavernas, others are cultivated for wider distribution within Greece and beyond. These crops, adapted to the island's harsh conditions, are premium products, their distinct flavors commanding high prices. Fishing, too, continues to be a way of life. The small fishing harbors, like Amudi Bay and Vlishata, are still active, with fishermen heading out in their traditional boats to supply the island's restaurants with the freshest catch of the day. This diversification is crucial for the island's long-term health. It prevents total dependence on the seasonal and sometimes fickle tourism industry. Furthermore, a small but significant handicrafts industry thrives, with local artisans creating pottery, jewelry, and textiles inspired by the island's history and landscape. These traditional economic pillars, wine, farming, and fishing, are deeply interwoven with the island's identity. They ensure that even as Santorini caters to the world, it retains a connection to its roots and the very soil and sea that first sustained its people. To live on Santorini is to embrace a life of beautiful contradictions. For the island's permanent residents, the stunning vistas that captivate tourists are simply the backdrop to their daily lives. The charm of living in such a unique place is undeniable, with its tight-knit communities, rich traditions, and a pace of life that, outside the tourist season, can be wonderfully serene. Family businesses, passed down through generations, are common, fostering a strong sense of continuity and belonging. The island's beauty is a source of immense pride, a heritage to be cherished and protected. However, life here comes with a unique set of challenges. The same winds that cool the summer air can be relentless and destructive, particularly in winter. Water has always been a precious and scarce resource on this dry, porous island. Today, most of it is provided by desalination plants, a costly but necessary solution. The sheer cliffs and narrow winding roads can make transportation and construction difficult and expensive. Living on an island means a degree of isolation, where everything from everyday goods to building materials must be brought in by sea or air. The greatest challenge of all, however, is the double-edged sword of tourism. The influx of millions of visitors brings prosperity and employment, but it also places an enormous strain on infrastructure, resources, and the environment. During the peak season, the quiet villages are transformed into bustling thoroughfares, and daily life can be disrupted by the sheer volume of people. Locals must navigate a delicate balance, welcoming the visitors who sustain their economy while striving to preserve the authentic character and tranquility of their home. It is a balancing act that defines the modern Santorinian experience. Beyond the well-known vistas and volcanic history, Santorini holds a collection of fascinating and surprising secrets. For instance, it is often said that there are more churches on the island than houses, and more wine than water. While perhaps a slight exaggeration, it speaks to the profound importance of faith and viticulture in the island's culture. The sheer number of tiny private chapels built by seafaring families, as thanks for a safe return, is a testament to a deep and personal spirituality that permeates the landscape. Here is another curiosity. The world-famous sunsets are routinely applauded. As mentioned earlier, this is not a myth. In Oya, as the sun finally dips below the horizon, the collective awe of the crowd often erupts into spontaneous clapping. It is a shared, communal acknowledgement of the spectacle they have just witnessed, a tradition that adds a wonderfully human touch to the natural display. This simple act transforms the sunset from a mere view into a celebrated performance, with nature as the star. The island's unique geology gives rise to more quirks. Santorini has no natural rivers or significant sources of fresh water. For centuries, residents relied entirely on collecting rainwater in cisterns. The iconic cave houses, or iposkafa, are not just a historical curiosity. They are an ingenious form of bioclimatic architecture, naturally insulated by the earth. And finally, the beaches. The island's volcanic nature means you won't find golden sand. Instead, you can walk on beaches of red, black, and white pebbles and sand, each a distinct creation of the island's explosive past. For those planning a visit, navigating the wealth of sights can be daunting. Here is a guide to some of the most essential Santorinian experiences. First and foremost, the Castle of Oya. While little of the original Venetian castle remains, its ruins offer the most famous and coveted vantage point for watching the sunset. Arrive early to claim your spot, and witness the village and sea bathed in golden light. For a journey into the deep past, the Akrotiri archaeological site is unmissable. Walking through the remarkably preserved streets of this 3,600-year-old Minoan city is a truly humbling experience. For the active traveler, the Fira to Oya hiking trail is a must-do. This 10-kilometer path follows the rim of the caldera, offering breathtaking panoramic views at every turn. It is a 3 to 4 hour walk that connects the island's main towns and reveals the true scale and beauty of the volcanic landscape. After a long walk, a visit to one of the unique beaches is in order. Perivolos Beach, with its endless stretch of black sand and vibrant beach bars, is perfect for a day of sunbathing and relaxation, offering a completely different atmosphere from the cliffside villages. Finally, to complete your tour, descend the steps from Oya to Amudi Bay. This tiny picturesque fishing port is nestled at the base of the Red Cliffs, with traditional tavernas serving the freshest seafood right at the water's edge. For a taste of authentic village life away from the crowds, wander the winding medieval alleys of Megalochori. And no visit is complete without experiencing the island's celebrated wine. Santa Wine's winery offers not only exceptional tastings, but also one of the most spectacular terrace views on the entire island, perfectly combining the flavors and sights of Santorini. From the ashes of a colossal eruption, Santorini was born, a testament to the awesome power of our planet and the remarkable resilience of life. We've journeyed through its dramatic history, tasted the unique flavors of its volcanic soil, and stood in awe of its legendary sunsets. It is an island of stark contrasts, of fiery creation and tranquil beauty, of ancient history and modern luxury, of quiet village life and global fascination. Santorini is more than a destination. It is an experience that imprints itself on the memory, a story written in stone, sea, and sky. Thanks for watching TourPedia Uncovered. We hope this journey has brought you closer to the heart of this Aegean gem. Its beauty is undeniable, but its true magic lies in the layers of history, culture, and nature that are waiting to be explored. There is always more to discover, from a hidden chapel to a secluded cove, and every visit reveals a new secret. We have only scratched the surface of what makes this island so special, and the rest of the adventure awaits you. Now, we want to hear from you. If Santorini is on your bucket list, comment which part you want to explore first. Is it the ancient ruins of Akrotiri, the black sand beaches, or a sunset dinner in Oya? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more incredible destinations around the world. Until next time, keep exploring.